So spring will be showing up sometime soon, sooner for some than others, and plants will start popping up and bugs will start coming out, and I think it's a good time to share our information. This year, 2020, I'll tell you more.
The United Nations has deemed 2020 to be marked as the International Year of Plant Health. So I wanted to put my 2 cents in on invasive species, critical for plant health. I wouldn't have these blueberries if the blueberry maggot was here. This plant I already have on my property, and I don't know if we'll ever get rid of it. Highly invasive, the Japanese knotweed. Hello. I don't think I've ever mentioned before what I do for work, but I work in food safety, food quality, and through that I work often closely with the CFIA, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and in fact they audit me. But they're a wonderful resource, and they're here to serve and provide information and support. Through this, I received an email this week reminding me that the United Nations deemed, back in 2018, they deemed 2020 to be the International Year for Plant Health, which is excellent. There's 4 subcategories, hunger and economic development and something else, something to do with poverty, I think, and the environment, plant life and sustainability, and mostly about invasive species. And that's awareness. So I think it's brilliant to champion this, and I think we all should play a part, especially gardeners. We have our nose in the dirt. We see things firsthand, and the CFIA, I listened to a podcast on this week, and they said that, I forget what percentage, extremely high percentage, most of their information comes from you and me, from the everyday citizen scientists. And that's true. It's one of those topics, invasive species, you don't know what you don't know. And I want to give you an example. So the example that I want to speak to is Japanese knotweed. And I'm just going to pick one topic to not go on and on about something. But it is about information sharing. It's not about knowledge base here. Do your homework, check it out, make your own decisions, informed decisions though. I think is the best that we amongst ourselves can do is just share what we see and what we maybe have concerns about. And go on your government websites. They all have spots where you can inform of what you see with regards to invasive species. Even if you don't know, if you say, what's this bug with these crazy antennas? You know. But the Japanese knotweed, when we first moved here and were excavating our land, one of the young excavators said, oh, you've got that weed. We call it mile a minute. And I looked at Bruce and thought, is that Japanese knotweed? Now we're from Ontario, and Ontario has a lot of initiatives to inform the public about Japanese knotweed because it's quite a problem there. And so we were always aware of it. In a way, we never had it on our property, we never had it really around us, or anyone's properties around us, or even on the roads near where I lived. But if you traveled any distance, you saw it on highways, provincial parks, you saw it. They have lots of volunteers who work at eradicating these things. So again, the information that the government put out was to inform the public, and there was a lot. So here I have it on my property. Now, we sort of forgot about it for a little bit because they excavated it and swept it off from where it was. I'll explain where it was actually, why it was there. I do believe we have a cart path, and it literally was a horse and buggy cart path. It goes up our house. We weren't allowed to put our driveway there because it's sort of a road. But the bikes use it, the four-wheel, quad bikes. And I do believe that's how it got up here on the tires or something. Anyway, 2 years later, it shows up down our bank where the excavator had pushed soil. And boy, has it shown up. So we're aware of it. We will address it as best we can, year by year, bit by bit. Bruce mows it. We know to, do the outskirts in, but I won't go into the education about it. Again, Google. But I did just want to pick this topic because I'm on 2 Facebook sites here. They're gardening Newfoundland sites. And one day a gentleman posted a picture and said, "Oh no, please tell me that I don't have Japanese knotweed." And 100 comments to come down. "Oh gosh, good luck." And then all the information. But I was surprised by the number of people who said basically, what? I have that plant. I love that plant. We put that plant in as a border. The worst one I heard. We put that plant in as a border between our house and our close neighbors. Imagine, you'll have the Hatfields and McCoys. What an invasive species to be digging up and planting, putting on your lawn intentionally, just simply because you don't know what you don't know. So that prompted me to ask around anybody who'd listen to me. Work, they're well aware. My old boss used to joke and call me David Suzuki, which isn't funny. So everyone I asked was what? I was pulling it up on the screens, on the computer screen, showing them, and oh yeah, but they didn't have any awareness about how invasive this plant can be. And it's on the list of CFIA's invasive plants, but I don't know, it's just not one that's on the radar, and it's horrific. It's everywhere here, and year after year, in the short time we've been here, I'm seeing it just crazy. In abandoned homes, it's their entire lawn. Really, really bad. So I did want to bring that specific plant up. There's lots of, so many that we could talk about. Actually, let me know if you ever want to hear about more, because I can ramble on about anything. But I'll leave it at that. But I'd love to hear from you if you have some information you could share, because I don't know what I don't know, and I'd love to learn. I think it's critical, and I think this initiative is just exactly what we need. It's brilliant. Sorry about that phone. This is Bruce asking me he's got. I sent him to the grocery store. We have company this evening, which is going to be fun. Something I pulled off, again, because it's about all of us doing our part. The CFIA has reported that the Asian longhorn beetle, hideous thing, the emerald ash borer, oh my goodness, I'll talk about that in a minute, and the hemlock, I don't even know what this is, woolly adelgid, I have to look that one up, obviously, in all new areas are always almost first found by the Canadians who reported it. So again, that's where we can play our part. So to recap, 2020 is International Year of Plant Health. And they need us, we all need each other, our ecosystems, our food, our everything, just as we know, relies on it. And we as gardeners, when you buy a plant, check the if it's in a wooden crate, heaven forbid, check that and burn it. Depending if you don't know where it came from. They're harborage areas, 100%. In Newfoundland, firewood is still the number one, which is banned to be crossing borders, but they still bring it in. It's the number one reason for a lot of these invasive species. The ash borer is a good example. That's my phone again. I'm so sorry. All right. Where did I leave off? The ash borer. The emerald ash borer has killed over 10 million trees in Canada, and it's way more even in the US. So there will be no more ash. And unfortunately, it's a very unfortunate example of what we could do. Imagine if you're beside, this was with bees. People bring in bees from another province. No. They bring in ladybugs put in their greenhouses. And they're the Asian ladybugs, which don't even eat aphids apparently. They don't even know the outcome of that yet, by the way. It goes on and on and on, and we all know, but I'd love to hear your stories. Share them. I just think it's a great way, a great forum, or a great little community to help us understand what could happen, what may happen. Imagine if you were a farmer who grows potatoes and someone brought something in, bought uncertified potatoes, and there goes your livelihood. PEI has a very, very strict, that's where I buy my potatoes because they're so strict. It's their livelihood. Blueberries here. We had berries inadvertently. It wasn't the fault of the company, I don't believe, but a chain brought in blueberry plants to sell. Everybody in Newfoundland bought these blueberry plants. There was a product recall because the CFIA found out that they didn't clear the proper channels crossing borders. And I don't know if they were contaminated, but could potentially certainly be contaminated with blueberry maggot. Well, we have a blueberry industry here of wild blueberries, and how horrendous would that be? So informed, and I think it's wonderful that we have, at this day and age, we have at our fingertips, our phones. We can Google anything we want, we can find it, there's no excuse for not finding out information. And then what our governments are trying to do and jumping on board, and the United Nations. So I think it's a raw, and I think we should all state our piece. So let me know down below any issues you've had, and I'll Google them. So these are just some of my photos I've put together. So as we start getting outdoors more and more and enjoying spring and all that nature has to offer, those of us who say aren't on, well, in Britain they're on allotments, so they have a better system. They have a community and an information share already built in. But for those of us who don't have something like that, put your eyes to the ground and see if you see anything new there.